India has faced a long-standing challenge with protein deficiency, even though it's one of the largest dairy producers in the world. A 2017 survey shows that 73% of Indians are deficient in protein, while above 90% are unaware of the daily requirement of protein. But now with increasing urbanization, fitness trends, and social media influence, health awareness is rising in India. But the shift is slow. While people recognize the importance of protein, their dietary habits don't necessarily change overnight. This gap presents both a challenge and an opportunity for brands. That's where Amul, India's leading dairy brand, comes in. Hi everyone, today we are diving into a fascinating case study on Amul's push into protein market. With its vast supply chain and strong consumer trust, Amul is now making protein-rich products more accessible and affordable, from protein milk to powders. But is this just another product launch, or could it actually transform the way India consumes protein? Can Amul compete with established health-focused brands that are already dominating the protein market? Let's explore Amul's foray into the protein industry, its strategy, and the potential impact on India's nutrition landscape. To uncover the truth about protein awareness, misconceptions, and consumption habits in Indian households, Right to Protein launched the Protein Paradox study in collaboration with Nielsen. This in-depth survey gathered insights from 2,142 mothers of children aged 6 to 18 years across 16 cities in India. And do you know why they specifically chose mothers for this survey? It's because they are the ones making decisions, making most of the household purchasing decisions, and have a great influence on what their families eat every day. Let's dive into the findings and see what this study reveals. The study reveals a surprising gap. It says while 95% of Indian mothers claim to know that protein is a macronutrient, only 3% truly understand its vital role in the body and why it's essential for daily consumption. This suggests most families might be missing out on protein, simply because they don't realize how crucial it really is. This study also uncovers a startling reality. It says over 70% of Indian mothers still believe in protein myths. Many think it's hard to digest, it causes weight gain, and it's only meant for bodybuilders, or it's simply too expensive. But here's the real kicker. 85% of the cohort of mothers who believe that protein leads to weight gain also agreed that they would rather prioritize vitamins and carbs over protein for both themselves and their children. This deep-rooted misinformation is shaping everyday food choices, keeping protein off the plate when it's needed the most. Lastly, this study covers an even bigger issue. It says most of the Indian mothers don't even know where to get protein from. Shockingly, 81% believe that a typical Indian diet of roti, dal and rice is enough to meet daily protein needs. This misconception means that for most households, dairy and pulses remain the go-to protein sources. According to the National Sample Survey Office, the average daily protein intake per capita in India is approximately 60.7 grams in rural areas and 60.3 grams in urban areas. In comparison, data from the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization for 2021 indicates that the daily per capita protein supply was, for United States, 124.33 grams per day, for China, 124.61 grams per day, for Japan, 91.99 grams per day. But then came COVID. The COVID-19 pandemic was a wake-up call for millions. The pandemic and post-pandemic world have accelerated the growth of the health-conscious and wellness market. Searches for immunity-boosting foods soared. Gym memberships and home workout programs surged. Daily step counts, sleep cycles, and calorie tracking became routine. Wearable fitness devices and health tracking apps have gone mainstream, with Fitbit and Apple reporting record sales in India. Consumers started moving away from high-carb, processed foods to high-protein, clean and functional foods for long-term health. If we look at India protein supplements market size from 2023 to 2030, the Indian protein supplements market generated a revenue of $237.2 million in 2023 and is expected to reach $427.9 million by 2030. The Indian protein supplements market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 8.8% from 2024 to 2030. Even today, India remains protein deficient. Why? because high quality protein is either too expensive or out of reach for many, or primarily associated with bodybuilders and athletes, or simply overlooked due to long-standing dietary habits that don't change overnight. And so the real challenge remains: how can we make protein accessible to the masses and at the same time make it easy to incorporate into everyday diets? Well, that's just one reason. But there's another key factor that compelled Amul to enter into the protein market. To uncover that, we first need to understand how whey protein is created. It all starts early in the morning at a dairy farm, where fresh milk is collected from cows and sent to processing facilities. Here it undergoes strict quality checks to ensure purity. Special enzymes or acids like citric acid are added, causing the milk to separate into two parts: curds, which go on to become cheese, and whey, a liquid that was once discarded but now it's recognized for its rich protein content. Once separated, the liquid whey is collected. At this stage, it contains fats, lactose, and water. So it first goes through pre-filtration, where large impurities are removed. Then it moves to microfiltration, which starts isolating protein by removing fats and some lactose. Then comes ultrafiltration. This process further isolates whey protein, removing even more lactose and excess water, leaving behind a highly purified protein-rich liquid. The purified liquid whey is now ready to be turned into the familiar protein powder we see on store shelves. And here's where Amul has a natural advantage. As India's largest dairy brand, it already follows this process to produce cheese and paneer products. This gives Amul a unique edge. Lower production cost, since whey is a byproduct of its existing dairy operations. Superior quality control by managing the entire process in-house. And more affordable pricing, making whey protein accessible for everyday consumers. The real question is why Amul wasn't selling its whey protein to consumers earlier. Well, the truth is it already does, but only in B2B market. Amul has been supplying whey protein as a raw ingredient to other companies that use it in their products, such as protein supplements, energy bars, and health drinks. However, until now, it hasn't directly marketed whey protein to consumers under its own brand. But now Amul is expanding its presence in the protein market by selling directly to consumers. This move isn't just another product launch, it's a strategic expansion, leveraging its brand strength, supply chain efficiency, and cost advantage. Let's break down the key factors that give Amul a competitive edge. Amul already processes massive volumes of milk daily to produce cheese, paneer, and other dairy products. Since whey protein is a byproduct of cheese making, Amul doesn't need to set up an entirely new supply chain. Because whey is naturally produced during Amul's dairy operations, it can offer protein at lower prices compared to brands that specifically manufacture whey from scratch. For example, imported whey protein brands charge 4 to 6 rupees per gram of protein, whereas Amul's whey protein is priced at just 2.67 rupees per gram. Amul is one of the India's most trusted household names with deeper consumer loyalty. Unlike other protein brands that need to educate and convince buyers, Amul already has a strong brand reputation. While most whey protein brands in India target gym goers and fitness enthusiasts, Amul has a potential to position protein as a daily nutritional need for regular consumers, including families, working professionals, and children. But one question still lingers. Amul is targeting Bharat. But will Bharat integrate protein into their daily lives? And this brings us to another important question. How is Amul planning to make Indian consumers adopt protein products seamlessly? Cleverly, instead of positioning protein as a niche supplement, Amul is integrating it into everyday dairy products that consumers already enjoy. By incorporating whey protein into familiar staples like lassi, buttermilk, flavored milk, yogurt, cheese, and energy drinks, Amul ensures that people can increase their protein intake without drastically changing their eating habits. This approach makes protein consumption more effortless, accessible, and mainstream, bridging the gap between awareness and actual adoption. Till here we understood, but one question arises. Why is Amul selling protein products online and in bundles instead of selling as just individual units? Amul's decision to focus on bundled sales and online distribution is not just a pricing strategy. It's a well thought out move driven by consumer psychology, purchasing behavior, and long-term business growth. Let's understand in depth. By selling in bundles, Amul is targeting serious customers, those genuinely committed to improving their nutrition, not just casual buyers looking to try a single pack out of curiosity. And guess what? Serious buyers are more likely to use the product consistently, experience real benefits, turn it into a habit, and keep coming back for more. Plus, their valuable feedback helps Amul refine and enhance its products. Second, by selling in bundles, Amul is encouraging habit formation and repeat purchases. After all, protein is most effective when consumed consistently. And with bundled packs, customers always have enough supply to make it a part of their daily routine, helping them build a lasting habit. As they start seeing real results, the chances of reordering naturally increase. Third, by selling in bundles, Amul cuts down on marketing and distribution costs while avoiding the inefficiencies of single unit retail sales. Selling individual packs requires higher marketing spend to attract first-time buyers, expensive shelf space in supermarkets, and comes with the risk of unsold inventory due to unpredictable demand. Bundles streamline the process, making sales more efficient and cost-effective. After building a strong foundation with online sales and bundled offerings, Amul will eventually expand its protein products to over 1 million retail outlets across India. With trusted branding, affordable pricing, mass distribution, and cost-efficient whey production, Amul is perfectly positioned to challenge premium protein brands. Amul's strategy is to make high-protein nutrition mainstream and accessible. Just as it did with dairy, Amul has the potential to revolutionize how India consumes protein. Thanks for watching, and remember, every story has lessons waiting to be discovered. See you in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Bye-bye.